Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 4 of Family Studies. This week I'm calling Health Week because this is the week we're supposed to go over the reproductive system, birth control, STDs. I also had a really good guest speaker that I brought in from the Sedgwick County Health Department to show you the different kinds of birth controls that are available to you and some of the main STDs that they're seeing in the Sedgwick County area. It's one of my favorite weeks. People think I'm weird liking to teach this stuff to high schoolers, but I think it is so very important. If you got to see me, if you're lucky enough to see me every day, you'd hear me say, I just truly feel like the more information you have, the better decisions you will make. So I didn't always start with the reproductive system, but after talking to students and building on the program, I realized a lot of people don't understand how their bodies work. So how do you know what birth control to use if you're on it, or how to protect yourself against STDs if you don't know how your body works? So that's why I start at the very beginning with the reproductive system. So you can go through and see my notes. I included my PowerPoint that just gives a lot more description and also shows diagrams so you know exactly where everything is. I didn't want to make you do all those notes, so that's why you just have a short ed puzzle for that part. But once again, I love my mother, but I grew up in a family that you were not allowed to talk about this stuff, a very, very strong Catholic upbringing. So I was a farm girl, so I saw all sorts of things on the farm. So I thought I knew how everything worked. And you guys might be very lucky that you have someone that you can talk to about this kind of stuff. And if you do, that's amazing. And then there's some people that aren't as comfortable or aren't allowed to talk about those things at home. So this will give you just an opener of kind of how things work. If you're not for sure, and you'll hear me say this 50,000 times as well, please, please, please don't hesitate to ask me questions. You can't embarrass me. Like I said, I enjoy talking about these things because I enjoy helping students. Because once again, the more information you have, the better decisions you'll make. After the reproductive system is where you get into birth control. Once again, not everybody is on birth control just because they're having sex. There's other reasons to be on birth control that have nothing to do with sex. But what I would say is you need to be very honest with your doctors, because if you're telling them you're on birth control for acne reasons and you're actually using it for intercourse, you could still end up pregnant because your hormone levels will not be the same as what they need to be to prevent ovulation. So you can go through and see all the different kinds of birth control that's out there. This first thing in notes right here, reasons or what you should take into account before getting on birth control is very, 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 very important. If you're a sickly person, you do not want to be on birth control pills because taking over-the-counter medications with birth control pills will make them less effective. How often you have sex, the number of partners you have, if you want children, because some of them can be permanent, how well each method works, side effects, and your comfort level. Some of them involve you, for example, the IUD or the NuvaRing involves you going up in there and putting them in and taking them out. So are you comfortable doing something like that? So those are the things that you consider before you get on birth control. You can go through it. I'm not going to do them all, but talking about natural family planning, or some people call this the Catholic method, but you've got to know what your definitions of abstinence are, because you could be abstinent, you could be the perfect little virgin and still have STDs in your throat or in other areas. So around this section, I really talk to you guys, if I were with you, about what's your definition of abstinence. You need to know your boundaries, and you need to be able to communicate with them. Communicate them to whomever. Okay, so there's the information on birth control. Some of them, the sponge, the cervical cap, a few of those are kind of older, but they're also coming back. So you can look through. There's lots of misconceptions about birth control. That's what it starts with. So once again, ask me if you have questions. Then we get into STDs. This is kind of a scary thing. Actually, I shouldn't say it's a scary thing. It's just something that you should be aware of and then do something about it. When I was your guys' age, STDs weren't really the concern. It was teen pregnancy. And what we're seeing now is our teen pregnancy rates have gone down, but STDs have just skyrocketed because you can get STDs without actually having intercourse, which you'll get into. According to Sedgwick County Health Department, the #1 STD that we see in adolescents your age is chlamydia, which is scary because it could just be passed on through bodily fluids. The thing about STDs you've really got to be aware of is that some of them, if you don't take care of them now, can make it where you have problems or are permanently unable to have children later on in your life. So it's not one of those things that you just want to, pray it doesn't happen or ignore it because maybe it'll go away. The sooner you find out for sure what's going on, the better chances you have of fixing it and not having lifelong issues with it. So lots of good information that goes with this one as well. With the Sedgwick County Health Department, if you show up with your student ID, you can get, I think it's $5 now for a pregnancy test, and you can be screened for STDs for free. So there is that option for you if you are concerned. I guess the last thing I kind of want to say, because this is stuff I could ramble on forever, but I don't want to do that to you, is you just have to be smart and take care of your body. This is the only body you will ever have for the rest of your life, and you've got to make good decisions. If you are, or if you feel as though you can't talk to somebody or you can't afford some of the methods, the things out there to keep you safe, just realize there are places in town, for example, the Sedgwick County Health Department, that will give you birth control and tests for free. You just have to show up. So there's absolutely no excuse for not protecting yourself, because they will hand out free birth control, hand out free condoms. They're there to help you out if you have questions. So once again, really sad I'm not there with you for this week. I think these subjects are so very important for adolescents to have. Whether you are doing anything with it right now or not, that's not the point. Once again, just the better educated you are, the better decisions you can make with your body. So please don't hesitate to ask me questions. If you have them, I'm here to help you. And I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. Have a good week.